So let's go ahead and call our meeting to order, and we'll begin with the pledge and invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. Almighty God, as we gather, we thank you for the opportunity together to do the service for the county of Pendleton and all the staff members and students and everybody that's involved. And we thank you for the guests that we have this evening and the presentation that they're going to prepare. And we ask that you would bless us with wisdom and discretion as we move forward. Amen.
Amen.
And we don't have any public, we got lots of people, but no public comment. So that brings us down to student and staff recognition. So do you want to?
I first want to say thank you for all the hard work that you've been doing. I know it's a program in the summer is quite a commitment, and you guys have been doing a wonderful job. I really enjoyed being with you today, so thank you.
And just.
Do you mind? They're going to do a little presentation and let us know what their program is all about. This is all new for Pendleton County, and we're so excited about this.
Yep.
So, Brooke, we were this close before COVID, weren't we?
We were.
We were like one step away from starting this, and it's taken this long.
We started it, we had the funding in line, and then we all know what happened. So, I am very glad to have this back this summer. We've had a great team to work with this summer. And it took a team to get us here too. We have a lot of community partners, which you'll see on some of the slides moving forward. We couldn't have done it without our community partners as well. So I'm just going to kind of turn it over to Corey and Tanya. This is the list of our community partners. So we had, of course, the Extension Office, Pendleton County Schools, the Commission, the Family Support Center, Franklin Rutan Club, Jeff and Teresa Munn, Greer Lum, Yoakham's Vacation Land, the Library, Experience Learning, Burke and Herbert Bank, Potomac Hardware, Long Mountain Long Dogs, and Petersburg Block. And a lot of those were added into us as the summer went on. As they saw that they needed more things, they reached out to the community, and we've been very blessed with our community support as the program has progressed. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
There's a couple slides in the beginning, JP, that might help us if you don't mind to go back. So this is Energy Express through WVU and AmeriCorps. These are our mentors, and a junior volunteer here with us this evening. I'm our site coordinator, and Tanya is our community coordinator. And this program was designed in the 90s to feed children who needed to be fed in the summer and to prevent the summer slide. So everything is based on our community, place-based education, along with literacy and healthy meals. So it's kind of an idea of what's happening. And here are our mentors. They each wrote up a little blurb about themselves as we started the year. To share in the building and out on our newsletter, as well as on our Facebook page, all the media, and each of them have a little bit about themselves. So yeah, JP, if you'll go forward to Hannah, and this is Hannah.
So hi, my name is Hannah Bennett. I'm not going into education, but I felt like this was a really good opportunity since it's new here, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my classroom. So my kids are learning how to read and spell stronger. Well, read better and spell their words stronger. And a couple of my kids' favorite activities were making our giant centipede, which is up here, and making a life-size Matilda, and making a house for our Matilda. And I love this program because I'm able to help the kids with their summer slide and make close bonds with them. And there's my door. They built a house, and then my book nook.
Hi, I'm Sierra Bram, and I am going into elementary education, so this program was pretty good for me. But my classroom is full of very smart and creative children who love to use their imagination to do different tasks. So far, their favorite activities were to make our table, which is up here, and the food for our table. And I really enjoyed helping them make it. That's my spaghetti there, but they loved having me be a part of it too. So it was really nice to get to do it with them. And that is my door. There is some of my kiddos making a craft, and then there's my book nook.
What age levels did you guys have?
I had I had 3 going into 1st grade, and then the rest were going into 2nd grade.
I had 3rd and 4th. My name's Bailey Kirby. I currently attend Potomac State College, and I'm also majoring in elementary education, so this summer has been very, very beneficial for me for my future. My kids really enjoy art and drama. Some of their favorite drama activities are Simon Says and charades. Already, since this summer has started, their reading skills and their spelling skills have already progressed so much. My favorite thing about the program is just having that one-on-one experience with the kids and creating those special bonds and just being there for each other, and then really showing their creative sides, especially when they down themselves and think they can't do it, and then they prove themselves wrong and they get super excited. There's my door, and then that's me. That's our group reading one of our weekly books, and then that's art for our Friends Week, and then that's also my book nook / calming area.
Hi, I'm Madison Brooks. I'm going to WVU in the fall for respiratory therapy, but I'm considering switching. Well, in my classroom, I have 1st and 2nd graders. I think it's mainly 1st graders, but they really like how the art that we're doing connects to the books. So here's our town that they made, or their city for Community Week. Careful, it might fall off.
Oh, we'll hold it up.
We have a big tape crisis. It doesn't like to stick. But they've done really good. They're like sound detectives, so it helps them with their long letters and short letters and their double letters and all that kind of stuff. So my favorite part of the program are the connections I've made with the kids and their parents. I enjoy hearing positive feedback from parents every week, talking about how much fun their kids are having and everything whenever we do our phone calls. So I just hope that the program has impacted the kids like it's impacted me. So there's my door, and then there's a picture of me and my class. If you're in the school, you'll probably see us playing Simon Says in the hallway whenever we're walking between places. But we're wearing our gloves there because we are going out to do their part of our community service project. And then there's my book with our bear that they named on the first day.
I'm with being the community coordinator. I coordinate all of our volunteers that come in. Our community has been so supportive of us through this. There'll be some slides here in a minute that will show we've had so many people come in and do presentations. We've had the businesses that have donated items and money to go towards our service project. And I got our updated numbers today. Our adults, we have 75.25 hours of adult volunteer time. And our youth volunteers, we have 463 hours and 75.75 hours.
That's awesome.
So our youth volunteers, and they have their own page here we'll get to, but I'll show you guys here. Vivian Pownell came. She has written and illustrated her own book. She just took it to Educators Rising, and she liked it so much the day she came back, and she's been with us as a volunteer. The kids just they really love all of our volunteers. Kaylee Simmons, Miss West Virginia, came and showed them how to brush their teeth and gave them toothbrushes and toothpaste to take home. Cade Kincaid, the West Virginia Mountaineer, or WVU Mountaineer, came. The kids were so excited when he took them outside, and he even shot his gun off for them. That's the picture on we have a big wall, and I don't think I have a picture of it here, that's our volunteer wall of fame. And that's the picture they always go to when they're walking down the hall, it seems like. Stephen Smoot, who's here tonight, came and talked to them about writing stories. Amber Perry's one of our parents. She came in and read with the kids. Hillary's another parent, and she's part of the school system. She came in. Penny came in and visited with them for the day. David Trenton brought his red-tailed hawk, that's Fiona, Sonic, his kestrel, and Kevin the bearded dragon, and they loved them. Darren Kimball from Fox's Pizza came, and Him and Geraldine showed the kids how to make pizza, and then they got to eat their pizza. They were really tickled about that. Kim Seymour brought Halo and Lena, and the kids got to read to them. And they just really seem to love that. I mean, you can see the dog was like laying there, like, it looks like she's smiling up there. That's Halo, is the golden retriever, and then she's kind of taking a nap there. Sierra's dad, Jeremy Bram, came, and they all got to try on the firefighter gear, and he read them 2 stories about firefighters and stop, drop, and roll. And Franklin Fire Department brought their regular fire engine and the brush truck, and talked to them. And they all got to shoot the water hose, if you look.
They asked about wanting my car washed that day. And I said, yeah, sure. And they're like, we'll go park it on the other side of the parking lot. And so I didn't get washed, but.
So they got to go through, like, they got to walk through and go in and see, like, where the firefighters sit. And they walked around and explained all the different gadgets and buttons and everything. So we've had a few since then. We had Lori Moore came and tried to make noodles with them. They didn't quite succeed. The dough got a little overworked, so it would not cut. And then today we had, oh my goodness, we had so many. Gary and Kathy Price came and gave a presentation on rocks. Nicole came and read. Shannon Hartman came and read and taught them about sign language, and then Rachel Mitchell came this afternoon and read one-on-one with the kids. And really want to say our youth volunteers, my daughter kind of got voluntold that she was coming with us this summer. But like I said, they have over 463 hours between this. There's 6 of them that have come regularly. And they've done anything we've asked them to do. They have just really been amazing group of kids. And the next screen, you'll be able to see some of the pictures here. Marion, I don't know if you can really see it in her hand because it's small, but she went out and caught a toad one day when it was raining and took it around to show all the kids, and reading with them. And Lori, you can see Madison's class just loves Lori and hangs all over her. And Vivian's all of them have just been amazing.
So the 6 weeks are all based on literature, and these were the choices from WVU and Energy Express this summer. 1 for older children, 1 for younger children. And the 6 units were, ladies, myself,
family, friends, home place, community, making my world a better place.
So you can see that those books tied to that, and then the next pictures are the art projects that went along with those books. Everything was open-ended. You see we have some interesting choices of materials. It was all about found art. So there's things there if you guys want to jump in, you're welcome to.
A lot of the found art came into our office leading up to this program, and I mean, you put a sign out on Facebook and say, we need your junk. People are going to bring your junk. I think Robin Kyle cleaned out her entire craft room and her mom's, and so a lot of the fabric and a lot of stuff came from her, and she said, if you need more, I got it. And I was like, I think we're good. We've been very blessed with our community supporting every crazy idea that we've come up with this summer.
And I guess the other side of that is part of this is to give back with our community service. So we installed new sand and gravel boxes at Franklin Elementary in the pre-K courtyard. We did a cleanup with the students at Franklin Elementary, and weed pooling, all of those things. We also went to the drive-in, as you see here, and did trash pickup and a pretty cool tour of the drive-in, which was nice. So we've been out and about too.
This picture was from last night. Burke and Herbert partnered with us to provide food for the open house. So they gave us some money, and I made my mom take a picture with everyone. She didn't know she was getting signed up for that. But we really appreciate them. That was, Corey had reached out to them a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, we have to serve a meal. How can you help us, type deal. So between them and Tina and Geraldine, they pulled together a pretty good spaghetti dinner last night.
We served about 80 people.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You can see the sandboxes there. I don't think I have one of it finished with the rock in
Yeah.
this. And then there's the kids cleaning up and they pulled weeds, and I was surprised how much trash they found.
So this last one, or last section is, I think we're a pilot program through the extension and this program with Experience Learning. So on Fridays, the children go out with Experience Learning for different activities. The first Friday, they went to Sweetwater Farm Trail System, which is what you see here. And last Friday, they were at Seneca Rocks, which, you know, was great in the water. I went over around lunchtime just to check, and everyone was soaked. They had accidentally gotten wet. So that was a great time. This Friday, they are doing a community day here, so they also are going to the drive-in to make some music, do some traditional Appalachian dancing, swinging by Potomac Hardware for ice cream, doing some art at Elevated Grounds, I think, on the window. So they're going to make a day in the community, and then next Friday, they'll be at Spruce Knob and Spruce Knob Lake with that. It's been a great partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. How many kids did you serve?
This summer, we started out with 40, and I think we ended up totally enrolled like 32, 34.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, anywhere between 20 and 30 kids are at the site.
Okay.
Will you send me the PowerPoint so I can give it to Lisa Jamison?
We have it.
Oh, we already have, okay,
Yeah.
perfect,
Yeah.
thank you.
And we
Thank
hope
you,
you're setting
guys.
up here one of these days hiring you young ladies that's going into education.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you did hire me for something, so.
She's already employed.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you all very much
Yes.
for everything.
Mhm.
Do you
And,
want-
And there's,
Thank
they
you
still
for
have one more
bring-
week next week, so if you guys are in town and want to stop by
Yeah, we'll check
and
it
check
out.
things out.
Come and read to our kids, they love it.
Would you like us to leave this so people can peruse it afterwards, or can we get up tomorrow or something?
Doesn't matter.
Or do we
Whatever you guys
call
want
out?
to do.
Whatever's easiest for you is
You
fine.
guys, it's up to you.
You can haul it out, or you can come back and get it tomorrow.
Decisions.
It's okay for you to take it this evening. Thank you for bringing it in, though. I really
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
There's
Thank you.
creativity in those.
I will say that today was my last day working with kids because next week I'm going to camp. Those kids did not want me to leave them.
Good.
They were like, no.
They really,
You
They
enjoyed
really
it?
didn't want me to leave, and they gave me hugs before I left.
You enjoyed it too?
A little bit.
I think so.
Thank you all.
all right, thank you.
Is there anything else under student and staff recognition? Okay, then we'll move down to personnel.
Okay, so under resignations, item A, Natasha Bowers for middle school softball head coach, Haley Basajic for Pennell County Middle cheerleading coach, Diana Redmond, Energy Express bus route, and Hannah Bailey, 7 through 12 math teacher at Pennell County Middle High School. And you do have my recommendation to approve these as presented.
Our superintendent's recommending that we approve these. They're all resignations too, aren't they? They approve these resignations as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. You keeping records of who's making motions and seconds?
No, I forgot. Sorry.
Okay.
Who,
I made a motion.
okay. We didn't do minutes
Oh,
for
I'm s-
approval.
It's
It wasn't on, it's
there.
on the
So
agenda.
we'll put them on the
We'll
next
put them on
one.
the next one. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
catch up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or actually, we can just catch it up on August the 5th.
We probably can, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
just
I
in
think
the
that
normal
was,
meeting.
because Lisa had provided the structure for the agenda, so yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that. Okay. Item B, permission to close, we're
Well,
asking
I
that.
haven't called for the vote yet. Hang on just a second.
I'm bad for that.
Any questions or comments? Then all in favor of approving the resignations as presented for Natasha, Haley, Diane, and Hannah, please signify by saying aye. And opposed, no. Motion passes. Now,
Okay. Permission to close the CODA, which is the Assistant Occupational Therapist. We're asking to close that position.
and you recommend it.
And I do recommend that we do this. Yes, please.
So we have our superintendent's recommendation to grant permission to close the CODA position. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then all in favor of granting permission to close the CODA position, for occupational therapist, assistant occupational therapist, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. Permission to post.
Okay, occupational therapist and an extracurricular SAT 504 coordinator for each school as they wanted, as the principal sees fit if they requested, at an hourly rate of $40. And I recommend that we do have permission to post these 2 positions.
So we have our superintendent's recommendation to grant permission to post these positions. Do we have a motion?
So, second.
We have a motion and a second. Wilma did the motion.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second to grant permission to post. Is there any discussion or any questions?
Exactly what is it, SAT 504 coordinator?
The SAT is the student assessment team that helps support students. Our 504 coordinators are the ones that have ADA disabilities, and we have to provide them a plan of support. So that person would have to be fully trained, and they would be holding the meetings and making sure that all the steps that we have to provide in a timely manner are provided. And it would be under the supervision of the principal.
Okay.
So.
Be somebody from the staff or somebody from outside?
Yes, and we have been doing it, but we paid for their planning period. And
Okay.
we're moving away from paying for planning periods and looking at extracurricular hourly rates.
So it'll be someone on our staff doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any additional questions or comments, discussion? Then all in favor of granting permission to post for an occupational therapist and also for the extracurricular SAT 504 coordinators for all the schools at the hourly rate of $40, please signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed, no. Motion passes. Employment.
Okay. And let us show that we have an abstention. Miss Katie Hott will be leaving the room. All right, so Christy Tridipo as the assistant superintendent, Jennifer Apple as the extracurricular high school assistant cross-country coach, David Simon as the Energy Express driver, Holly Walker for HR Central Office, Allie Judy, school counselor at Pennell County Middle High School, and Madison Day, ELA at Pennell County Middle High School as the extracurricular transitional trainers. And I do recommend that those positions be approved as presented.
So we have our superintendent's recommendation to employ the people as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And
Second.
we have a motion and a second. You got that?
Yes.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then all in favor of employing Christy, Jennifer, David, Holly, Allie, and Madison as presented, please signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed, no. Motion passes. They will be employed.
JD, I did substitute bus drivers, Nicole. We're just waiting on them to get
Yes.
all their training and stuff into.
Yes, there is one that we need
Thanks,
to
Derek.
get on the agenda for the next board meeting who's ready to go. I did speak to Mr. Chuck Miller this morning, and I sent him an email to clarify and just try to catch up with that. But I
Okay.
think there's I know there's at least one, and there may be 2.
Are they
that
getting
we
trained
can-
through Epic? Epic?
Chuck does the training
Mhm.
at the bus garage, and we are hoping to host and try to get more trainers to
Okay.
help him to make it more flexible and have,
I think Epic does it. Epic does it. I
they
believe.
may, and
Yeah.
that may be a route.
He actually works through Epic.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
he gets paid by them, and sometimes there's somebody else, then we reimburse Epic for the bus driver
Okay.
training. Yeah.
Okay, approval of contracts.
Distribution of medication, Pat Alt and Ashley Van Meter. And I recommend that these be approved as presented.
Our superintendent's recommending approval of the contracts for distribution of medication. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then all in favor of approving Pat Alt and Ashley Van Meter for the contracts for the distribution of medication, please signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed, no. Motion passes. Approval of non-paid coaches.
Chris Robertson for football and Scott Reitzel for baseball, and it is my recommendation that these be approved as non-paid coaches.
Our superintendent's recommending approving of the non-paid coaches as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then if there are none, all in favor of approving as non-paid coaches, Chris Robertson for football and Scott Reitzel for baseball. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Uh-huh.
And opposed, no. Motion passes.
Volunteers, chaperones.
Yes, Chris Robertson and Scott Reitzel, I recommend that we approve them as volunteers.
We have our superintendent's recommendation to approve as the volunteers as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions on these?
I don't have Lisa's sheet, but they have been checked out, Nicole?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we got them checked out.
Okay, Derek answered that for me, thank you.
He was out of town, and so we did get it done.
Okay.
Anything else additional? Then all in favor of approving Chris and Scott as volunteers and chaperones, please signify by saying aye. And opposed, no. Motion passes. And nothing under leaves of absence, so I think that finishes us up under personnel, and we move to finance.
Okay, under finance for tonight, we just have bills for approval. And then we have approval of bids, but under bills for approval for June, I will go over some of the ones I've highlighted. I will make a note that the electronic payments are higher than a normal month in that we do all the summertime payroll for the month of July and August, the 200-day employees, which doesn't show up under accounts payable here, but all the taxes do show up, the Social Security taxes and everything else that we do, that in the retirement for all those. So that makes electronic payments more than a normal month. So starting off with the actual checks that were written, 448, 618.95. We had some maintenance work done this summer. Brandywine Elementary School, some tile needed to be replaced. So Travis worked with Weaver's Flooring to take care of that, so that was done. Second page of the PDF is just an example that we do periodically tuition reimbursement. Employees are eligible to apply. It must be approved at the central office. Sometimes there's federal funds to reimburse it. Sometimes there's state funds, so that denotes part of it was state funding, part of it was federal Title II funding. Example of a tuition reimbursement. Bus towing that we had, and it had to be hauled, I think, quite a distance. As a bus towing, so $34.66. Now, the good news on that is that does go through transportation. That gets reimbursed 95% when we had that bus to be towed, so that's a payment that we had there. The next page, again, some more summertime maintenance projects. Black Brothers Painting is doing some of the doors at the middle high school, and there's a lot of doors out there in that complex all the way around. So they're working on those in a couple of different phases, cleaning them up, doing the painting. Blau Brothers Incorporated, plumbing, baseball bathrooms were in need of attention, so that was done for the baseball bathrooms, doing some update and fixing some fixtures there for that. Next item on that page, technology funds. We do get money from the state every year, so we ordered some view boards, like the smart boards, but view boards in some of the classrooms for $14,384. Vocational funds get a combination of state and federal grants throughout the year, so there were some additional textbooks that were ordered for vocational, $13,478.06, spending some funds at year end before the grant funding expired. Turning down, pretty heavy month for legal fees. Sometimes that happens with various things that go on in the school system. $8,700 for legal fees for that payment. Attendance forms. Carrie is not here tonight, but she's had great success with a program called Droplet, which is electronic attendance to put information in there to have them printed out and sent out and kept electronically. We're renewing that for $4,900 for the attendance program. Speaking of transportation, the next page with highlight, almost $40,000 for engine work on 7709, which, if that was your vehicle, you probably would say it's not worth fixing, for that. But with 95% reimbursement, it becomes a much easier, and there is a limit, the state has a maximum, but they base it on total number of miles you travel and take up, and so we travel a lot of miles. So we do get allowed a lot of expenses, so we are still quite a ways away from the cap
That was
on
an
that.
engine, that was an engine.
It was a
overhaul?
it was a bunch of stuff, it was a long list, and Chuck's not here, there was a long list of work to be done.
I would like to see that list
on that
sometime,
bus.
just for
Yes.
curiosity.
Is it
Yes.
a fairly new bus?
Well, it's 09, so the 09 means it's 2009, and 77 means a 77 passenger. It was a lot of stuff that was in there. It is obviously engine repairs for 25, 28,000.
Yeah.
It was a whole list of things, but not that. So that was pretty extensive, and I had to go back a couple times. Some of it was covered, some of it was additional. Again, Chuck's not here, but he could give more detail. But I could come back with a copy of the invoice.
I was just
upload
curiosity,
that,
as many engines I saw
for the
overhauled.
next time. So
I have
yes.
another question before we get too far.
Okay.
$700 to Circleville High School. Repairs, page, I don't know what
Page,
page.
is it one we've already covered?
Yeah, above, right above legal.
4 of 33.
Yeah, I'm trying to, oh gosh, there was some work that was done, and I don't remember the exact amount. I remember Travis talking about it. He's not here tonight either, that they took care of some work, but I don't know if that was
They
part of the
take care of some work for us.
drainage. Yeah, I don't remember the exact I can come back with more detail on
Well, I
that
just
too.
was curious.
I remember Travis talking about it and having to get it done, and they took care of some work, and it was something to do with maybe something that was joint between the two locations over there. I do not remember the specifics at this point, but I will follow up with additional information for you on that.
I did have an additional question
okay.
on the engine repair. Is it a bus that we plan on keeping for a while?
It is a bus. It is a bus we plan on keeping for. We did just sell 3 buses, so at the next
Okay.
meeting, the financial up, we did sell 3 older buses. I know there was some debate on that, but it is a bus that still will come in to replace. And, it cost us $1,800 in the end to
Yeah.
fix the bus. But that just comes
Yeah.
down to it. So,
Yeah.
it's, when you look at it that way and you take 5% of 39,000, maybe it's $2,000, it would cost us $2,000 is not a huge price to pay. You got to wait for the reimbursement, and you still don't want to be wasteful with money. And so,
Yeah.
and Chuck really wants to make sure. So there was some debate, but a new bus is $150,000. That's not reimbursable. That's flat money. So 150 versus 2. Then you look at it, it's like, okay, it makes it an easier decision. But if we had to pay a straight 40 and there's no reimbursement, then you're saying, well, what, is it really worth it for an old bus
I would just be amazed.
to do that?
Somebody in the State Department, Derek probably answered, somebody in the State Department would not question that.
Well, they see it in the aggregate.
Yeah, I guess
They
so.
see it in the aggregate, everything together on that. So I understand.
I just didn't know if
yeah.
it was a spare bus or we still use it all the time.
It's a bus that we use,
Okay.
and now again, it is older, but we've sold some in the past month, like there were 2004 and 2007s that we sold that were on there. And again, if you're looking at a bus you need, and the new buses, again, cost more than a couple $1,000s, obviously. It's a lot of amount up front, and that is outside the norm for that much. And I think it just became one thing after another, but now it's fixed. Chuck
It'll
thinks
last a long time.
we can get multiple years of use out of it. In the end, it's going to cost us a
Good.
couple $1,000s out of that.
Was it Steve Lambert's bus?
I think it was Steve Lambert's bus. I think I looked it up myself to see whose bus it was. I believe it was Steve Lambert's bus, yes.
I'll remember that when that one goes on surplus.
Okay.
I'll remember that one.
All right. Huddle at the high school where you can sign in, buy the subscriptions. There was some reimbursement from Huddle, several $1,000s the high school made this year, but there's an upfront cost that the high school is paying for over half of it. We still pay a portion. That was the discussion up front several years ago. The county, as long as it was feasible, would pay a portion up to $5,000 per year for the Huddle reimbursement. We've not veered from that. We pay the full 11. The high school will reimburse us $6,000. It is an increase of $2,000. It was $9,000 a year ago. It's up to $11,000. It does allow people to see. I don't have any statistics on usage or does it affect anything else? But nonetheless, the high school requested that we renew Huddle. We have done it. They will reimburse it. And maybe we'll have them at some point do information, give us some information on number of views or that sort of thing on Huddle. Work order system for maintenance. We've had different work order systems over the years, and not really one currently for maintenance, putting things into a computer to make a request versus just sending a text or an email. So we think that will help us out with the work order system for maintenance. That's there. The next item, going down page 7 of the PDF, the middle school took a trip to DC back in May, I believe, and charter buses. Of course, we remember coming back during the flooding from DC, in 14.4, which is not inexpensive, but that was paid for by the gift of about $130,000 given to the school system several years ago. A person passed away, left money to the school system for trips to be done, historical nature, or civic and things like that. So that was all paid for. They had some other expenses, but this paid for a bulk, $14,400. Vocational had some more funds left over, so they're spending them. Table of salt for vocational, a bulk purchase at year-end of custodial supplies, getting ready for next year and for summer cleaning. Go Guardian monitoring, that helps Eric and James if there's a question about any computer in the school system, particularly the Chromebooks or anything. The Go Guardian is added to the computer, and they can do any sort of monitoring or go back and look if there's any question about certain sites that were browsed, anything like that. That's a 1-year renewal out of technology funds for Go Guardian monitoring software. One of the last items, the more you have, the more you got to maintain and monitor. All the coolers and refrigeration units that we have, particularly in child nutrition. We had one instance where it went down and we weren't notified right away, and you lose some food. Sometimes insurance covers it depending on circumstances. If it's just a routine breakdown, they don't. So this is a fee to add more modern sensors and monitors so that multiple people know if a temperature drops below a certain level for a freezer or for a cooler. We have had some in the past, but they haven't been 100% consistent. We reviewed these, we talked to different people. The Swift sensors came back to be the best ones that we could find. So Eric is putting those on all the coolers and freezers at the schools, at the bus garage, to make sure that we can stay in compliance and have everything that we need in case something goes wrong, a power outage or just a mechanical failure. Camp Timber, that's, can you explain Camp Timber?
Social emotional
Yeah.
curriculum, countywide. It's more for it does go up through the middle school, but that's going to be more for the elementary. It should be a daily lesson that they provide.
Right. We've done that for a number of years. And then I think the final one here, Carrie received a special education grant right in May and June. She was able to spend it, and it's for summertime programming. She's not really here to talk about it tonight, and it's for long-term use as well in terms of some virtual reality to help students with special needs. Maybe Nicole, you can speak a little more on.
It allows you to see the careers, so when it's the goggles, and when you put them on, you're doing the jobs, like you could pick the job, so whether it be a welder or going into a mine. So I haven't got to see it personally yet. She's promised that she'll let us all experience that, but I'm sure that the students will love it.
And that's paid for by a federal grant through the state. When it came in, Carrie, it was like Christmas Day. Carrie was going through all the boxes, and she and Eric were looking at all the different things. So she was quite excited. She thinks some students will benefit greatly from that material to go forward. So that's all that I have as far as comments go. I will follow up on a couple of the questions that you had, and then I'll bring those back to you. So those are the total bills for approval. Electronic was all the payroll-related retirements and taxes and those sorts of things. So that is usually several $100,000, but you add 3 months together, you get the $749 for all the summer payroll. So total $1,197,731.18.
And I recommend that these bills be approved.
Our superintendent's recommending that we pay these bills. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any additional questions? And all in favor of paying the bills totaling $1,197,731.18, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. The motion passes.
Item B under finance is approval of bids for the Northfork Elementary School Harold K. Michael building. So we did advertise in the paper as required, a legal ad available across West Virginia in the legal ad system. We had a pre-bid meeting where attendance was required last Friday. The only company that made any inquiries, only company that attended, Lance Construction out of Harrisonburg, submits a proposal. Travis looked over it, with some folks from the State Department. Feels like this will do the job, and the listing of the repairs to be performed is listed there from Lance Construction. Pretty comprehensive to go through that with the block and everything else that's needed. The bid is $69,021. Preliminary insurance estimates had mentioned they would approve us for up to around approximately $70,000. So that's not finalized yet, so we are right in line with the insurance estimates. I'm not going to guarantee we might have to put a little bit of local money into it if something comes up, but it looks like insurance will pay for substantially all, if not all, of the repairs, at least related to this Lance Construction. They do realize they can't get this done before school starts in 3 weeks, but they do hope they can make a lot of good progress here in the next 6 weeks or so and have us repaired by early to mid-September would be the goal for that.
That's not in the contract, but that would be their
Right.
goal.
Yeah.
And they're good to work with. They
Yes,
always have been.
they've been very good to work with on that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I recommend that the bid from Lance Construction for the North Fork Elementary School Harold Michael Building be approved.
Superintendent's recommending that we approve the bid from Lance Construction for the Harold Michael Building. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions?
Yeah, I mean, not with the bid, but, this should let us maybe look at putting some kind of guardrails or something up there. It could have been an automobile or anything.
It's
I
a
mean,
steep-
that bank and down off of there.
I was there with Lance on Friday. I mean, it is a steep drop off.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
and
no
it's a
doubt.
grade up there. Somebody get out and not set their brake on a car or something. For the amount of work and stuff, it would be pretty thing to put a set of guardrails or some rock or, Greer could haul big rocks up there or something. But I mean, it's wide open once you come down off that bank.
Yeah. I mean, it is worth consideration to figure out something, and so just to prevent something in the future happening that way.
CHS Preservation owns that up there?
Well, still protect our building.
We'd have to look. We'd have to
get their own
contact them.
count.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that, yeah.
Right. I think if we would work and get permission and have a plan in place, it would probably
Especially
be
just
good for all.
guardrails. I mean, you're just boring holes and putting guardrails up.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we will take a look.
Any additional discussion or questions? Then all in favor of approving Lance's bid for $69,021 for the work on the Harold Michael Building, please signify by saying aye. And opposed, no. Motion passes. And I think that finishes up under finance.
Correct.
And that moves us down to new business and student transfers. Do we
I
have
don't
any?
believe we have any, right?
No.
No, none were sent to me, so none.
And then policies for review.
Policies for review, we still obviously have the conversation that we had a week ago, and we did make some minor grammatical errors and minor changes in several ones that we talked about. We are including tonight, and so we would have those. We could go to the website if needed, but they're all on board docs. They are all updated. So we've handed out, emailed, and have for tonight's review the personal electronic devices, the PEDs, the graduation requirements, and the staff technology acceptable use and safety policy. So I'm going to start, and Nicole, you can jump in anytime. The personal electronic device, the PEDs, 5136. 5136, I am pulling up. So not a huge amount of changes. Again, the green is what's being added to our current policy. The pink is all the strike-throughs. We did X a couple of boxes that needed to be checked to make sure we were clear on that. We looked at violations and penalties and consulted with Dr. Lambert at the high school and refined a little bit the first, second, and third offenses that were in there. And so those are there under that particular item.
JP, at the top of the elementary, we did also include that for elementary students, they are not to have their PEDs at any time.
Right, okay, yep. Once you go ahead, Nicole, you did more work on this.
That's okay. No, you were doing great.
Okay, so anyhow, yes, we did that. A couple edits. We did, again, have the level 2, level 3 offenses updated towards the bottom under policy, communication, and oversight. We did add publishing information in the local newspaper to make sure not only social media, electronic, and school, make sure that put it in local paper as well regarding that. And so I believe we clarified field trips a little bit to make that language more self-explanatory. So that's that particular update to the PEDs, personal electronic devices. I'll go on. If you have any questions, I can come back to any of these at any time. That's the PED policy. The next item is graduation requirements. 50.
One question.
Go ahead. Yep.
HP.
Yep.
We had talked about the bus driver being the determining factor if they could have them on the bus.
Right.
But here on the third offense, I guess that is if a bus driver tells them they can't have it on the bus, the third offense for the high school students, middle and high.
Where we take it away, the third
Yeah,
offense?
yeah. So that's going to be if a bus driver says that particular bus you can't have it, and they get 1, 2, 3 offenses, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And they would lose their privilege completely by
For
that
30
point.
days, yeah.
Yes.
But that would be on a bus where the driver is not allowing it.
That would be in the school.
Yeah, so if they have
Oh,
so my suggestion for the consequences was to suspend their privilege of having the device at all
oh, okay.
before suspending them. Because I don't love suspending kids out of school.
So
That's
this is
who I am.
for a third offense. In
Yes.
school, they'll lose their bus privilege.
Yeah, they will not be able to have it anywhere on the way or in school.
Now, is it going to cause any conflict with one bus driver allowing it and another bus driver not?
Well, usually the transportation director does give the bus drivers they have the right to say this, these are the rules on my bus, just like in a classroom. Yes, it does there are certain things that the transportation director will have to say, this is the rule. For
Right. And
instance,
so,
the Stanley Cups were a problem because of a safety issue. They roll, get under your brake, that's a safety issue. We had to say no. And was it consistent? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
And that does create problems, so.
yeah, so we do have it under student transportation that they may use them on a school bus or other board-approved vehicle, but then it does say at the discretion of the bus driver if there are certain things that go on or if it goes too far. So that will need to be stressed. It's just what Nicole was talking about.
And the bus driver could say, you can have your device on the bus and keep it on the bus, because we had a bus driver who did that kept, for the younger students, a device that she collected when they got off the bus and she kept it. If she wanted to do that, I don't think we would have any say, as long as it's not in the school building, because that's where it's causing the
The only thing
disruption.
you run into, that device happens to come up missing,
Right.
or a spare bus, all of a sudden that bus
Yes.
breaks down, you bring a spare bus, are you transferring the funds to that bus?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think, I see, with leaving it on the bus it would be an issue, I
It could
believe.
be. I agree.
Or substitute bus driver.
Yes.
And the first time $1,000 phone comes up missing, or whatever they cost now,
I think for the younger kids, a lot of times the parents give them their old phone,
Yeah.
and it's just, they have some games on it, and that bus driver, no longer works for us at this time, so that may not even be a practice that's being used anymore, but she felt like it entertained them and kept them
Sure, yeah.
quiet, and she was okay with it.
entertains
so.
all kids.
It does, yes.
So there's our updated PED policy that's there. Good questions. The next one is 5460, graduation requirements. Graduation requirements is largely the same, although we did go back from the 24 credits to the 23 after reviewing with the high school from 24 to 23 to correct that number of credits. The PE credits, the option for their flexibility, I think, pretty much stayed within the same. There was towards the bottom, credit recovery. Credit recovery talked about some parameters for the credit recovery, how that would work, and how that's going to be transcribed. I don't know, Derek or Nicole, if there's anything else needs to be mentioned on that. I think otherwise it was pretty much the same. Go ahead.
Policy in the past said that a student that completed credit recovery got no greater than a D. So that's not a very motivating incentive to have a student to do a good job. And the whole point is to make sure that they're learning. So we felt that if the grade that they earned is what gets transcribed, now that does average in. We don't remove the failing grade from what they originally took, but it does help them. And if they are trying to become eligible for any extracurricular, or just they've changed, their thinking, and they maybe want to go to college and be eligible, this gives them that advantage where they messed up, but now they can fix it and they're not being penalized. So.
Yeah, so that is the credit recovery, or the graduation requirement update. The third one tonight for closer review. Kind of back to the cell phone / electronic use, staff technology acceptable use policy. So the main change on staff, there were a couple boxes selected that need to be selected to be fine-tuned, but the main change goes down to page, I think 3 and 4, and we'll change the heading there to make sure it's all on one page, but employee personal electronic devices in schools and at work. So this really lays out some expectations for employees. Obviously, we're introducing the student personal device policy and all that goes along with that. And we have an acceptable use for devices. We didn't, for staff, but didn't really get into, well, if we have this for students, what do we have for staff? The first paragraph, to accommodate the increased use of personal cell phones, the following guidelines are in place for all types of electronic devices during the work and school day. So it gets into employees, what they should and should not be doing. Yes, personal use is still allowed, but obviously we don't want students being restricted and then saying, well, teacher was on their phone half the class period. Why can't we have them? And we know we don't live in a perfect environment like that, but we do want to have some expectations. And again, Nicole, if you want to say anything more about that.
No, I think it does allow for the fact that there are times where we need to use our phones for work. At the middle high school and maybe even the elementary, well, the elementary school does have a radio system. The middle high school does not. Usually the administrators are the only ones with the radio. So the phones are needed in a big building like that, especially in medical emergencies as far as calling one another. So it's not saying that the adults are not allowed to use the phones, it's just giving guidance to how to properly use the phones.
Yeah, you can bet your first child's discipline, that's what you're going to hear.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, we're trying we never would achieve perfection, but we are trying to set some expectation with this. And Nicole had reached out and we looked at some sample documents and came back with this item. So I think that is still, it's the primary update that was done to that particular policy. So glad to answer any other questions, look at any
I have
other
one more.
policies.
The bus operators not allowed to use their phone while transporting students, but if they would have like an accident, they can pull off and
Right.
shortly and use them, or somebody passes flashing red lights.
Right.
I mean, so
Yes.
Right.
it's not that restrictive, they could.
Right, it's just obviously while driving, the students
Right.
shouldn't be doing that. But yes, if something were to happen, an emergency or a breakdown, then obviously, yes, that's a very different situation for that.
And I think it's very good too that it includes that anybody driving a county vehicle also cannot be having using their phones while driving. A lot of our federal programs, we have to sign off for that, special education. I don't know, there's other ones that we have to sign off and say that, but this then includes everybody. So
Yes.
I think that's important.
So this is not a second reading. This is kind of continuing an update of the first reading at last meeting, and with these policies being revised, they're still out for comment and review, and we will work on getting these revised information out. We've already talked to Christine, who works with our website, Christine Lambert, and we'll have a way of putting this information out there for people to know what's available to review, particularly the cell phone, personal electronic device policy.
Right, if we'd like to put those out between now and our next meeting for the public to see those, if that's okay.
Our next regular scheduled meeting, probably.
Right,
yeah.
August 5th, if that's okay.
Getting back to the school bus thing, I'm reading Matt here again.
Okay.
You know, while transporting, should we change that? With transporting, is that the whole general, or while transporting, is that their whole thing? So you're saying, unless you would add in case of emergency, or I just put while driving.
We could put some clarifying language
Yeah, I mean,
in there.
Well,
Just-
we need to reference policy 4337, the transportation one too, and make sure that language
Okay.
is the same. But
You
we
could
can
just
look
put
at
while
that.
driving,
Yes.
students, and that way, if you need to use it,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we interpret while transporting, meaning that doesn't actually say the word. So, yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
can
change that.
we can clarify some language in there for that.
And I wanted to mention too, the Senate Bill 199 and the discipline. I had asked Mr. Jason Long to look at our discipline policy, and his answer was basically that until there's some more clarification on what is expected out of Senate Bill 199, he couldn't really say, but he will give us the guidance once he has it. So I say we move forward with our discipline policy if we're comfortable with it, and knowing that we may have to be back here in a month or two, looking at it again and reviewing it.
Yeah.
have they decided on the interim session yet?
No, they have regular scheduled interim sessions throughout, the year, and there's probably a regular one. Whether there's going to be the big special one remains to be seen. I mean, probably, but who knows? Between PEIA, and we certainly think there will be PEIA and/or school funding formula, but nothing has been stated yet at all.
And
But
we
they-
have been invited to September 8th to go and get our posters for In God We Trust. So I hope to go to that, and somebody else probably will go with me, either Christy or Travis or somebody. So if we attend that, we can meet some of them.
That is during an interim session, I
Yes.
think, yeah.
So he said beginning, I think. Is that not right?
Possibly, I remember, yeah, something like that. So there's already some on the books, as there are every year, and then with the special session, again, we don't know, but certainly we have to be aware that could happen at some time before too long. I'm sure there's a lot of work behind the scenes as to what to actually do, so we'll see.
Any comments or any questions? I don't think we need to take any action on this because it would be like the discussion we had when the policies were done the last
Right.
time. We're not
Right.
submitting new policies. It's just discussion of changes that are in place, changes in policies that we already had a first reading on.
Right.
So are there any discussion or questions or anything farther? Then we'll say that this part is done and we will move into PCMHS updates.
Good evening. I just wanted to kind of share with the board the progress and the direction that the high school is moving. Obviously, I'll be looking for a new assistant superintendent or assistant principal again. But we are working on finalizing the student handbook. Obviously, some of these policies aren't going to be ready in time, so there'll be addendums placed in there. We are bringing all the middle school teachers together at the end of the month on the 29th because middle school schedules need addressed. So I'm going to bring the teachers together and we're going to work as a group together to kind of revise how the middle school schedule looks to make it a little more streamlined and allow us to better support students in 7th and 8th grade. Also, I'm working with Mr. Hudson to create a better CTE experience for the middle school students. I did, as you all know, I came with me from the Department of Education with a $70,000 grant to work on those programs and expand middle school CTE. The first step in that is the Discover Your Future course that all of the 8th grade, 7th and 8th grade students will be in next year. Talking about the virtual reality headsets, I've already talked with Carrie, and we will be using those and using some of that grant funding to pay for those licenses moving forward so that all of the students in the career exploration courses can experience those headsets and be in that reality. So been very busy with Travis and the facility updates, still a lot of work to be done, but we're moving forward and I feel good in the direction in which we're moving. So I appreciate Nicole's support and your all's support as the board, so looking forward to school starting. I do anticipate having some community town halls, if you would, so that the community members, families, students can come out and meet me, for those that don't know me, and just have discussions about the school and what they would like to see. So we'll be reaching out to various community organizations to get those scheduled before the open house that we'll be having.
Do you know when the open house will be?
They had set the date on that.
Yes.
We can get you that date.
We do have a Stuff the Bus that's gonna be starting the beginning of August.
Okay, with like school supplies and stuff?
Yes.
Awesome, okay.
Yeah, so we will get the
okay.
dates for all of those. Should have had those, didn't think about it.
It's okay. Thank you.
Did you get your photographs situated? Is it done in the gym?
Yes, and you just paid the bill for the painting. They did come and repaint the one wall where they were.
Right.
So I think
I'm
the
anxious
plan
to see
for
it.
next summer is to paint the wall where we put them, because now the one wall is really bright and pretty white, and now our attention is gonna be on the other wall that hasn't been painted. So I think that's on the list for next year. We did also, working with Travis, the middle school hallways, where the lockers came out, were also painted. That was part of that bill. So the middle school hallway looks really great.
Great.
Wednesday, August 13th from 3:30 to 6.
Is the open house.
Yes.
August 13th.
August 13th, 3:30 to 6.
What was done with the old lockers? Were you able to salvage some? or-
Travis said he was sending them to scrap.
Okay.
There are some that are in pretty bad shape. He did talk to me the other day, and I'm trying to think. There was a local nonprofit group, I don't know if you remember, Derek, that could use some of them. And I don't know if it was emergency rescue, if it was something, and I can't think. It's just, but Travis said some would go to them, which is allowed, to make a direct transfer to an organization like that, and then he would be scrapping some that were just in really bad shape.
And we were gonna make a thing for each school, elementary school,
Yes.
before locker.
Right,
We've
right,
talked
right.
about that several times.
Right. So Travis is working through that. So again, he did mention someone who reached out to him. He was working on coordinating that transfer, and I can't remember which group it was, but I'll get an update on that when he's back here to the next meeting.
Thank you for the update. Thank you for your effort in bringing in an assistant principal that's now an assistant superintendent. And we hope you get just as good another assistant.
Do you have any more good suggestions?
He does.
I'm working on it.
Good, thank you.
That item we're gonna have as a standing, as a school update, so that if any principal would like to come
Right.
at any time, that would be okay.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Lambert, for wanting to do that.
And then the next item we have is our next meeting for Tuesday, August the 5th. But we'd like to add another meeting for July 31st, which is Thursday, isn't it?
Yes, it is a Thursday.
Thursday, July 31st at 5:30 here. So we'll have another meeting on the 31st and then on August the 5th.
Yes.
Wilma hear that?
Did you hear that, Betty?
Yes, I heard it.
Okay.
Heard it, yeah.
Okay.
31st.
31st.
Calendar.
5:30.
All right.
And I also wanted
But I
to,
don't have anything that week, so that, I hope. Let's say, I'll just say that, I hope.
I wanted to share that Jason Long will be here July 23rd at 1 p.m. to provide legislative updates, and it'll be an hour and a half if you would like to come.
When is this?
The 23rd, it's next Wednesday, is that right? Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So he will be here, so that's an opportunity if you would like to join us. It will be with the administration here in the training room, and you're more than welcome to join us.
July 23rd, what time?
1 o'clock.
Wonder
Did
if
you
it's
hear that,
possible-
Betty?
Wonder if it's
I heard
possible
that,
that,
yeah.
if you could talk to Howard or call, if we could get credit, if we would come. That would
I
be,
think that maybe just signing in, you should be able to.
I mean, I'm talking about credit
It would have to,
of the hours.
it would have to be approved by Howard
Okay.
and.
Might check with him and just
Okay.
see. I mean, that would be a good thing. We go down to the regional meetings for the same thing.
Right.
And that would really give you that hour and a half that would help on that 12 in case it wasn't 5 later on.
Yeah.
Howard, what's his last name?
We'll call.
Oak Hall.
What time is this on the 23rd?
1 o'clock.
1 to 2:30, yes.
1 o'clock, 1 to 2:30, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll bet you Howard will allow that.
Dickie,
don't
do
you,
you
Dickie?
have a contact number or something?
I do,
Okay.
I do, I'll be able
We'll
to.
take care of that. I'll check into that.
Yes, yeah.
And now I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. And opposed, no. Motion passes. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You guys.
See you, Beth. Bye, Wilma.
The Pendleton County junior team won first place at the